everyone. I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. First up, for nearly 3 decades, one woman has answered some of the most critical calls of her career as an Angel One flight nurse at Arkansas Children's Hospital. Each flight carries a child in need of life-saving care. And for this pilot, each ride is also a reminder of personal loss that helped shape her purpose. Tamer Knight shares the story of turning heartbreak into a lifetime of service.
Each time a call comes in, Debbie Iser grabs her gear and prepares for another mission. A mission that could mean the difference between life and death for a child somewhere in Arkansas or surrounding states. But for Debbie, every mission begins with a memory.
July 2nd of 1996 is a date that is ingrained in my mind and forever will be. It was the date that I drove to Children's Hospital here in Little Rock and applied for my job as critical care flight nurse for Angel One transport team. It is also the day that I lost my youngest son, Jaron.
Before she left for her interview, she dropped off her sons, her youngest, Jaron, wrapping his arms around her.
Good luck, Mommy. I hope you get the job. And so that was the last words that I would hear from Jaron.
Most people would understandably step away after a loss like that. But Debbie chose a different path. She got the job, and 28 years later, she's still flying.
My mission is to be make a difference and to be a positive effect to these parents and these children that fly with my team and I on Angel One.
Today, Iser and her team serve as a flying pediatric intensive care unit, bringing specialized care to children across Arkansas and surrounding states.
Within the first 10-15 minutes to start turning things around just because of the equipment and the training that we have.
For parents facing their worst day, Debbie offers more than medical care. She offers understanding.
I have more than one patient when I do that. I have the patient, the child, which is my primary focus, obviously, but I'm also trying to encourage and help the parents along the way as well.
That connection comes from experience. Years after losing Jaron, Iser endured yet another heartbreaking loss when her son Jordan also passed away.
Having lost 2 children, I've found a purpose in my loss, and that's to be able to look at another parent in the eyes and literally be able to say, I know how you feel. I know where you're coming from.
After thousands of flights, her work still feels personal.
It is exciting. It's more rewarding than exciting to me.
For Debbie, every mission is a chance to honor the boys she lost by helping other families hold on to hope.
I think I found purpose with the loss of my boys.
Today, she helps raise her grandson, Jaron Jacob, named in honor of the son she lost nearly 30 years ago. And every time she hears the helicopter lift off, she carries with her the words that changed her life.
In my ears, every night, every day, good luck, Mommy. I hope you get the job. So I'm still here.
Tamer Knight.
My goodness, we are starting off with tear jerkers. I cannot imagine what that experience has been like, but I know she feels so much joy now having her grandson named after the son that she lost, alive to watch her continuing in this career space. Many advances in space exploration can be traced back to the Cleveland area. Some have even said the road to the moon and beyond runs through Northeast Ohio. Well, now there is a new center focused on one of the most important systems in any space mission, the human body. Monica Robbins shows us how the Cleveland Clinic is helping protect astronauts' health as humans prepare to travel farther into space.
From the earliest days of Project Mercury, how space affects the human body has been a concern.
Some of the ophthalmologists back in those days felt when you're in space for more than just a very few hours, your eyes might change shape. Would your eyes gradually change shape so you couldn't see the instrument panel?
Your Artemis 3 prime crew.
Today, NASA's Artemis mission aims to take astronauts farther than ever before, while private companies are opening the door to more civilian space travel. Those developments inspired Dr. Kenneth Mayuga to launch the Cleveland Clinic Space Health Center.
Why not tap into that depth and breadth of our clinical knowledge and experience and use that to tackle the challenges of space travel?
As missions grow longer, researchers expect more health complications linked to microgravity. The center's initial focus, cardiovascular health.
The heart can undergo remodeling, so it can lose mass, it can become more spherical. The left atrium, which is on the top of the heart, can enlarge, and these are also associated with increased concern for abnormal heart rhythms or arrhythmias.
The center is already contributing to research that could shape future missions. One area of focus, blood clots. NASA researchers found astronauts can experience stagnant and even reverse blood flow in space.
We recently published a manuscript, a research paper, discussing the risk of blood clots, the use of blood thinners in space.
Advances made in space medicine could also improve care here on Earth. Dr. Mayuga says that's one of the center's primary goals.
There's been a lot of research, space-based research that has benefited patients here on Earth.
The Space Health Center is part of Cleveland Clinic's Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute. Though still new, the program is already expanding into lung health, digestive health, emergency medicine, and other specialties.
As physicians, we have an ethical mandate to help others and relieve suffering. And that applies wherever people go, even to space.
Helping keep astronauts healthy as humanity pushes deeper into space. Monica Robbins.
Well, it is the everyday places we experience growing up that have a special way of evoking a strong sense of nostalgia. Red Owl Grocery was a place like that for folks in the Midwest, even if it wasn't for you personally. You may enjoy this story Boyd Hubert found about the last one standing and the efforts to keep a brand gone by alive.
History lives.
You're right on Red Owl.
Down 93rd Avenue.
Down to the basement.
Down in the Red Owl district.
This is a Red Owl measuring glass.
Gary Newman is among the collectors
Gary's Red Owl.
of a beloved Twin Cities-based brand
Here's a little Red Owl store.
that once dominated the local grocery market.
Red Owl ad.
Now, history.
Bananas 10 cents a pound.
History? Hardly.
Mason Brothers Red Owl. Yeah.
Jared Mason
It has been good to me.
bought this store in 1969 with his late brother Merv, when hundreds of red owls fed cities and small towns across the upper Midwest.
How many are left?
We are the only store left. The only one.
And where might one find this last vestige of a Minnesota-born icon? The last surviving red owl sits this close to Lambeau Field.
Well, those are our, Super Bowl champion pictures, of course.
Jared
So,
Jr. represents the second generation.
myself, my dad, my uncle, and then my brother.
Jared and his brother Justin
Thanks, man.
now run the Red Owl with their mom
It's lean.
and proud dad.
And I guarantee you, if you buy this hamburger and put it in a pan and don't overcook it, it'll taste like nothing else.
But their Red Owl connection runs even deeper.
My grandpa Merv.
Grandpa Merv worked as a produce buyer for Red Owl.
So 3 generations in the grocery business.
And guess who else worked in Red Owl produce?
Zuma Newman, produce manager. I started in 1960, and I worked there until they were sold in 1989.
By then, so iconic,
Who can turn the world
that in her iconic sitcom, Mary Tyler Moore shopped at Red Owl. So iconic,
The Red Owl in Bloomington.
the Coen brothers recreated a red owl for their 2009 film, A Serious Man.
Red owl, red owl, red owl.
So iconic, Mason's Red Owl has both an in-store and online
Logo.
merch department.
One of the best things I ever did. I've sold them everywhere. They've gone to every state.
36 years after Red Owl folded,
Thanks, bro. See you, Alex.
the Masons
Have a great day, man.
are keeping the bird
Thank you so much.
flying.
Jared and I, every day when we come to work here, we represent that brand, whether or not it's still in, major circulation.
I met my wife in this store. I raised my family in this store. And I'm going to be 80 years old soon and never been hungry a day in my life. I thank the Lord every night. Yeah.
Enough to make a collector envious.
I wish I owned it.
Nah, that wouldn't be right.
How you been doing?
The last Red Owl has perched
You made it.
with the perfect
Yeah.
people.
What does that logo mean to you?
It's my whole life.
Boyd Hooper.
It's my whole life.
My goodness, just imagine the stories that family could tell about their legacy there in the community, not only in the store, and how that one gentleman met his wife there. Amazing. All right, we have more for you coming up on Featured. Some kids in Georgia are trading in their summer break for a lemonade stand. We'll tell you how the cause behind it is bigger than any of them. Also ahead, a garden rooted in tradition is growing again at the University of Minnesota, how it's helping preserve Native knowledge. Some kids in Georgia are trading in their summer break for a lemonade stand, and the cause behind it is bigger than any of them. They are raising money for Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, fighting for kids battling cancer. Madison Ricks has the story.
This is Nanny's crew.
They were all for it. They loved it.
And every morning, they drag their table to the end of the porch, lemonade in hand, ready to flag down anyone who passes by.
Once we get all the money, then we can give it to the kids who got cancer. Because I want them to feel better. To pay for the treatment.
$1 a cup and not a cent is going into their pockets. Every drop goes to Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, which funds research to fight childhood cancer.
We all fell in love with it instantly, reading about it and learning about Alex's story and what she did. And so we decided, instead of making money for ourselves or for themselves, to earn what they could and give to this cause.
The cause hit close to home. The family lost their beloved papa due to cancer less than a year ago, and these kids felt the weight of that and decided to do something.
It touched them because of that. To think that a child has cancer, to go through what Papa Dude had to go through, it touches you, you want to do something. They were all for it.
Well, Tammy's my cousin.
5 days in, the community is showing up, neighbors pulling over in their goal
To get the money.
Well, that part's true, but for a good cause.
I'm kidding. I am kidding. I am kidding. I didn't know what to say. For childhood cancer. Yes, what she said.
Reporting in Adrian, Madison Ricks.
They are firm with their purpose. A patch of land on the University of Minnesota's St. Paul's campus is getting some new life while helping people reconnect with old traditions. Samantha Fisher shows us how a newly revived Native American medicine garden is nurturing more than just plants.
If you're going to be in Group A doing more dirty work,
Sometimes
come over onto this side.
a hearty dose of dirt
It's a place of healing.
is just what the doctor ordered.
A gathering place for community.
After 5 years of rest,
All the dirt, all the mountains have to get touched.
the land that supports the U of M's Native American Medicine Garden has finally been reawakened.
The garden itself needed to let us know what it needed.
Brandon Elkire, executive director of the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council,
Extra tools. Yep.
says the latest effort to put down fresh roots gives the Twin Cities Native American community a renewed chance to reconnect with theirs.
And a great number of our native urban students never experienced the feel of dirt in their hands.
It's significant for the University of Minnesota and specifically for CFANs.
Jennifer Garbo, Tribal Engagement and Outreach Liaison for the U's College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resources Sciences, says the garden's return marks a critical turning point
A little divot,
for engagement with Minnesota's 11 tribal nations.
because all that water will go in the middle.
It's a celebration of life in a time when everyone could use some joy.
I'm going to start distributing beans.
The surrounding community, as well as students, staff, and faculty at the U, will maintain the space, weeding, watering, and eventually reaping what their indigenous ancestral garden sows.
The sage, the tobacco, the sweetgrass, they're going to have a multi-pronged purpose.
We will use the medicines for education programs. Our graduates and MIAC, the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council, often burn medicines before their meetings.
Beans grow up to the corn.
Pairing remedies with rations,
The food we'll harvest and share with the community.
while they work this season to nurse the once overgrown land back to health.
In the middle of these trees is a rotunda that was once used for gatherings, for different types of learning and teaching.
This is an ongoing commitment. These are seeds, some of them that I started myself. If I am putting them in the ground, it's also my responsibility to come back and continue caring for them and teaching those others about that.
Project stewards say the garden's ultimate goal is to educate.
We're hoping that in the future there will be students and other community members who will come out and want to be included in the gardening process.
They're more than welcome to.
Creating a system where both plants and people
It takes a village to keep something beautiful.
benefit from communal support
We're all here as a collective making this place better.
and nature's numinous nourishment.
I'm feeling very grateful today.
To see it actually here, see it actually planted,
In St. Paul,
it's beautiful.
Samantha Fisher.
Love that story. Coming up after the break, a dad in Idaho was diagnosed with ALS at the age of 35. We'll tell you how strangers are rallying behind him and his family. Plus, ahead in our next half hour, a Maryland farm is offering second chances in an unexpected way. How retired race horses and incarcerated men are working together, and how both are finding a fresh start in the process. People in Idaho organized a car wash to raise some money. It was called Shine for Justin, and the community showed up for this family. Maggie O'Mara takes us there.
Justin Garcia is a personal trainer, a former player on the Idaho Horsemen football team, and a devoted dad to 3 daughters.
He lights up the room.
This 36-year-old is also battling ALS. He was diagnosed just last year.
Our life has had a lot of changes. Especially in the last 2 months.
ALS is a progressive disease that targets the brain and the spinal cord. It affects muscle control, leading to the loss of the ability to walk, speak, eat, and even breathe. Justin's ALS is advancing quickly, and his care costs are overwhelming. A nonprofit called the Good Network organized a fundraiser for him in Boise.
Today we're doing a community car wash for Justin Garcia. The Good Network is all about helping people in need, telling stories that need to be told, and honestly this was a great chance to support a local person who's been battling something really tough. And we decided to come together as a community and support him the best that we can.
Connor Bates of MVP Supply and Detail jumped at the chance to be a major part of this special day. He hosted the car wash.
I spent over a decade in the Valley working as a first responder, so this story came across our feed and it just really hit home for me. It circled all the way back. And it's a really cool opportunity, that something that we can do to give back to somebody in our community, that we have the ability to do. Bring all this together. There's actually 7 professional mobile detail companies that have all come together today. They're all competitors in the Valley, and they all came together to work together side by side today to do something bigger than ourselves and help somebody out in the community. It's really cool.
The turnout was nothing short of incredible.
It's been amazing. It's better than we could have even hoped for. We've had cars of all types. People here just excited to donate, hang out, and support Justin Garcia.
Justin's daughters were excited to be there too. Their dad is their world.
I think it's very exciting to see like all the people that are supporting my dad and see everyone come together as one.
We're doing a car wash for my dad, and over there we're doing a lemonade stand.
We are selling strawberry lemonade, regular lemonade, cookies and popcorn.
Justin was so touched by the community turnout.
It is amazing. How much the community has come together.
It's amazing to see how much the community can come together.
I have so many good friends.
So many people showed up to show they care.
Honestly, the turnout has been a blowout.
It's been awesome.
And Justin is so grateful for all of them.
It makes me feel very fortunate.
To everyone who came out to support the Garcia family,
They have really big hearts.
They have really big hearts.
And I'm very thankful for all of them.
I'm really thankful for all of them.
That was Maggie O'Mara reporting from Idaho. Coming up, Arizona, it's a 6-hour drive from one side to the other. We'll show you how one man ran across it for a good cause. Plus, millions of dollars from a charity golf event in Iowa will go toward helping kids. We'll introduce you to one program aimed at comforting kids while they're in the hospital. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. A Maryland horse farm is offering second chances to those who need it most. Sean Martinelli has the story.
At this Maryland horse farm, it's all in the name.
Yeah, it's definitely a second chance for all involved.
A second chance for farm manager Chelsea Truesdale, who spent 12 years as a Baltimore teacher.
Then COVID hit, and I just could not be stuck behind a computer teaching class.
A second chance for the retired racehorses who now call this place home.
Just want to make sure that that's a good temperature for them.
And a second chance for workers like Andrew Burke.
We partner with the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, where incarcerated individuals, they come out to the farm and they learn how to care for the horses.
It's one of only a handful of programs like it across America.
Is this something you ever imagined yourself doing?
No, not at all. I grew up in Jamaica. I've never seen much horses.
Andrew's been in prison for 3 years. He's been here just 3 weeks, but says he's already made a discovery.
A new love for something else, something bigger than myself.
That is not uncommon among participants. Chelsea says while students learn a lot about horses, they often learn more about themselves.
You learn a lot about yourself as you learn more about them. I think the most meaningful impact of this farm that all of the men take with them is understanding more about themselves.
In Andrew's case,
I wasn't open-minded to certain things, and I feel like I lacked empathy and compassion. And I learned a lot about myself and about that being in this program, and just caring for someone other than yourself. These horses, they don't speak. They don't speak, so I'm basically their voice.
Don't you do that? I think they know a little bit that they are helping all of the men that are coming through here. They're very good teachers, so every single day they have a purpose.
a purpose built from second chances, offering that first step for the future. In Sykesville, Maryland, Sean Martinelli.
Oh, I can't imagine how strong the bond is between those men and the horses. I'm moving on to our next story here. For most people, the American dream is all about opportunity. And thanks to someone who paved the way, one young woman is getting to live her dream. Here's Sean Giggy.
But it was my motivation that kept me going.
A few years ago, as a high school sophomore, Yazid Martinez says a fire was lit inside her.
You know what? Let me do this.
The spark? Her grandfather's death.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it not for me, but for him.
Alejandro Martinez immigrated from Mexico at 14. He worked hard to feed his family, but always said his biggest regret was that he never got an education, which is why he'd often stress the importance of school.
I remember
So, at his funeral, Yazid made a promise.
Let me graduate early so I can dedicate it and honor it for my grandfather. I didn't want his passing to be in vain, and I wanted to make sure all his sacrifices were worth it. That's when I started doubling up on classes.
From that day on, Yazid immersed herself in schoolwork, doing way more than required, just so she could graduate high school early, and then enroll here at Tarrant County College Northwest. Where just last month,
Yazid Melin Martinez,
she became the first in her family to earn a college degree. But she's not stopping there. This fall, she'll attend UT Dallas to pursue a degree in animation. That way, she can inspire others with stories about her grandpa and so many like him who opened the door.
Without their stories, I wouldn't have mine. So.
A good reminder that behind every dream is someone who made this chapter possible. In Fort Worth, I'm Sean Giggy.
I love that story. My grandfather is actually the reason I'm doing what I do right now. My interest in journalism sparked from spending time with him as he used to regularly watch the news. Well, Arizona stretches roughly 375 miles from east to west, and that's about a 6-hour drive. Well, now imagine running it. One man did just that, crossing the state to raise money for 3 families facing cancer treatment. Troy Lynch talked to him about how he set a goal and literally ran with it.
It truly was 10 days of just pain and constant discomfort.
Ready, fire, aim. That's Bridger Deaton's life motto.
It was like living multiple years of my life within 1 week.
This phrase was sparked by his own skin cancer diagnosis from 2025. And to literally take it a step further, he wanted to help families pay off their cancer bills by running across Arizona.
The hardest parts were going in the Flagstaff. We had like 50-mile-an-hour headwinds plus rain. My feet were so swollen, knees in pain, shins in pain, ankles swollen.
Before this, the farthest Bridger ran was 30 miles, but he wanted to do something that showed people they can get through the tough/grueling moments of life and to raise $15,000 to help 3 families.
Was there ever a point where you're like, I don't know if I can finish it?
I don't think there was a point where I didn't know if I could finish it, but there was points where I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna take.
About 40 miles a day for 10 days, Bridger ran from Lupton to Bullhead City, Arizona.
Life is, if you look at like a spring and we're traveling along the spring, there's constant highs and then lows and then highs and then lows. And as long as you keep moving forward, you're gonna get to another high and you're gonna get to another low.
Solid end of the day, just under 300 miles in, and we're still cranking out 10-minute miles.
How are you feeling right now?
Surprisingly, I feel great. Swollen feet, swollen ankles afterwards, but quads, hammies, like legs, like they felt very solid.
The day after he finished, Bridger hit his fundraising goal. Easier or harder than you thought?
I think it was about exactly what I thought.
It's done.
That was Troy Lynch reporting from Arizona. Money raised at a golf event in Iowa will help kids undergoing treatment at a children's hospital in Des Moines. A team that helps kids understand what's going on when it comes to their health is one of the beneficiaries. Alex Fulton explains.
Tommy Zebel
Yeah.
loves to play the piano.
I can't do all that stuff that normal kids can do.
A kid who knows he's different.
Yeah, these were from surgeries. So like one here, here. I have them all over my body.
Jogging, jumping on a trampoline, just a misstep are things he has to be cautious of because of his condition.
Osteogenesis imperfecta, it's like a really big word.
Brittle bones is the easier way to say it.
There's not enough collagen in your bones, they can really break easily.
At only 11, Tommy knows quite a bit about osteogenesis imperfecta.
When you don't have enough collagen in your bones become yellow.
He found out facts.
Any kid who has a child life specialist is really lucky.
From his child life specialist at Blank Children's Hospital.
They're really nice and kind, and it just makes you feel better.
Whenever he has a surgery for a broken bone, his therapist is by his side.
They help take really big, complex thoughts and opinions and diagnosis, and they break it down so that the child understands why they're there and what is happening.
Tommy's parents say he gets injections every 3 to 4 months, and that same specialist is there too.
There are a lot of appointments, first of all, and some of them take hours, so not something a child looks forward to doing. So child life has helped make that experience all the better.
Bubbles, basketballs, and other toys are in Blank's playroom.
The assistance that they're providing that child is true therapy.
A positive distraction at a pivotal moment.
It is a service that we make available to all the kids that we take care of with complex chronic illnesses.
19 full-time employees work for Child Life.
We wouldn't be able to do what we do with Child Life if we weren't in this community.
The program and its staff are supported entirely by donations, including from the Principal Charity Classic.
Child Life can make it feel like you aren't even going there because you have a broken bone. You're going there because you want to have fun.
Dollars that help kids like Tommy.
Your child is in really good hands at Blank. And that's just what I have to say.
Keep doing what they love. In Urbandale, Alex Fulton.
Well, the day has finally arrived for one Connecticut family to move into their home, and it is all thanks to Habitat for Humanity of North Central Connecticut. Jim Altman shows us how a dedicated team made it happen.
Opportunity isn't just knocking in the north end of Hartford. Essentially, there is a key component to all of this.
Hartford's Clay Arsenal neighborhood is where another door is being opened. For the Akadiri family.
This is a wonderful day for me and my family.
The dust on Mall Avenue has yet to settle.
And Saibu, if you accept those keys.
But they're ready to settle in. With help from the city and travelers. They are Habitat for Humanity's newest homeowners.
Congratulations on being a homeowner.
The dedication ceremony made it official.
The best part of a dedication ceremony is watching the homeowners walk into the house for the first time, seeing the kids pick out their bedroom and seeing the finished product in real life.
Saibu immigrated to Hartford from the African nation of Togo 5 years ago. For him, 4 bedrooms. For his wife and 3 children is a moment second to none.
After 5 years, owning a home, yeah, it's a dream. I just take a tour inside. It's so nice.
As always, Habitat projects are a hands-on endeavor.
This house is not a freebie. It is not given away. These families work very hard for it.
Families put in the sweat equity to help fortify their future. And here, a house has now become a home.
They are building incredible, quality, affordable housing and boosting home ownership in the city of Hartford. And what an amazing day for the Akadari family to see them come home.
Dedications never get old, and we get to celebrate all of the sweat equity that these volunteers and homeowners have put into building this property.
In Hartford, Connecticut, Jim Altman for Featured.
Already still ahead on Featured this morning, the owners of America's oldest brewery say their grit is what sets them apart, and that determination is on display. In Pennsylvania, we will take a look at Yuengling's legacy. And a small box of tiny treasures is becoming a daily ritual for one woman in Georgia. We're going inside the community, built one trinket at a time, to show you how strangers are connecting. In Pennsylvania, the story of America's oldest brewery is woven into the fabric of our nation's history. The family business has endured nearly 2 centuries of change and growth, but still stays rooted in the place where it all began. Here's Melissa Steininger with the story.
For nearly 2 centuries, the story of the American dream has been poured into every bottle and every can here at Yuengling Brewery in Pottsville.
We like to think that we emulate a lot of those values, a lot of risk taking along the way, a lot of luck, and we've just always been able to withstand the test of time, and including Prohibition, and here we are today.
Since 1829, Yuengling has weathered wars, economic uncertainty, and changing times. Much of that history lives here at the original brewery along Mahantongo Street.
They came up here in 1831. At that point, built the brewery, brewed the beer, and dug down here. So dynamite would have ruined the brewery they were trying to build.
Where the hand-carved caves took a decade to complete.
So we had no refrigeration. So what do? They think, well, it's cool enough in the caves. We'll dig in there and keep the beer cold until it got picked up.
Then came Prohibition, an era that could have ended it all.
They made near beer, so they were able to produce that, and then they started making ice cream. So where we're sitting now is in the gift shop, and this used to be the old dairy.
In 1985, Dick Yuengling carried the family business forward as the 5th-generation owner, defining the lager beer, which has become synonymous with his last name.
For sure, the brewery is in our dad's DNA from day one.
Thousands of cans pass through these lines every single day, and while this process is a fast one, the legacy built here at Yuengling was built much slower, 6 generations.
It's extremely important to us to remain independent, and I think the longer that I'm here, the more I appreciate the trials and tribulations that generations before us have gone through.
Today, that legacy rests with all 4 daughters, who chose to not only carry on the family business, but to keep it rooted where it all began.
This is our home. We've been here for 197 years. We're targeting a 200-year celebration pretty soon, so we're not going anywhere, and we're just super proud to be here.
Yuengling is now offered in 30 states. The gift shop sees about 80,000 visitors a year, and the line produces about 54,000 cases of beer each day. But inside these walls, some things stay the same.
We have employees that have been here for 25, 30, 45 years. And so they have that background, and they've worked with previous generations and have gone through those different times when we were just one brewery here on the hill on Mahantongo Street.
Through the generations, what's inside the bottle has morphed and changed. But what endures here at Yuengling isn't just a family recipe. it's the story behind it.
We have a lot of stories to tell. We're very resilient. We're a gritty company. We like to say that. We're not necessarily the same as a lot of other businesses. We know we're different. Our grittiness shows through, but that's what's gotten us to almost 200 years.
As that story of America's oldest brewery continues to be written, right where it always has, here in Pottsville. Melissa Steininger.
What started as a simple box filled with tiny treasures has become one of the most unexpected gathering spots in one Georgia city. A social media trend has turned into a real-life community, one trinket at a time. At first glance, it looks like a tiny box filled with random toys and collectibles, but as Caitlin Ross shows us, for the people who stop by every day, it's become much more than that.
We have some little rubber duckies, some squishy toys, which are really fun.
Mom Chelsea Guevara never knows what she'll find when she opens the trinket box.
Squishy balls, this little mini Tamagotchi, and some plushies.
The idea came from a trend she spotted online. People across the country were creating community trading boxes, but none were nearby.
I really wanted one to be close to me, but they were all kind of far away in different states, so I just kind of decided, like, okay, if no one else is going to do it, I'm just going to put it in myself.
So she did. Now tucked along a busy stretch of downtown Lawrenceville, the box has become a daily stop for collectors, families, and curious visitors looking to swap a treasure and maybe make a connection.
I knew that people would think it was fun and stuff like that, but I wasn't expecting the whole community really just to enjoy it and just kind of adopt the hobby all together as one. Has been really fun to see other people enjoying something that brought me joy.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That was Caitlin Ross reporting from Georgia. Now, visitors are encouraged to take a little trinket, leave a trinket, and keep the fun going. Still to come this morning, one family is looking for a new home for a stray cat. Look at this cutie. Well, we'll tell you how the furry friend acts like a dog. Welcome back. A family in San Diego is working to find a new home for a stray cat named Blue. Well, Jeff Zetley meets the feral cat that walks on a leash and acts like a dog.
We all want to be something in this world, and this story is about Blue, the feral cat who wants to be a dog.
What would you do if a beautiful cat walked in your door and struck up a conversation?
He's very talkative. Like when he walks in the house, he just starts going meow, 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 meow.
Alex Wymore and his wife took the cat to the Humane Society. They figured he was lost.
So they scan him for a microchip. He doesn't have a microchip.
The Humane Society determined this cat was feral. So after vaccinating and sterilizing the animal, they tipped his ear to mark him. And then they told Alex to release the cat.
Alex lives in a neighborhood with townhomes. They have an HOA where no pets are allowed off a leash. And rules are rules.
We assumed we would never see him again.
But the Wymores did see the cat again and often, because when they walked their dogs, the cat would follow them. And what did their neighbors think?
At first, they just kind of do a double take most of the time. You know, they look and they're like, wait, what? And they look again.
People started to ask, is that your cat? The Wymores could only say, yeah, sort of. The family then named the cat Blue and tried to keep him in the house.
So far, we've been fined $1,200 because of his escapes.
Blue is now part of the family, yet the more he stays inside,
he has wrecked a lot of stuff in the house.
Blue isn't the best housemate. He has two hobbies. One, napping. The other, destroying potted plants.
The Wymores balance Blue's needs between the safety of living inside and his natural instinct to be wild.
He does keep the rodent population reduced around here.
In this video, Blue caught a mouse, and in this one, a lizard. We even watched him sneak up on a bird.
Oh. He didn't even see him.
The family has put Blue up for adoption on a website that rehomes pets.
It's hard, you know, his ear is tipped and people see he's a feral cat. He likes to go outside. If you can't take him outside, it's not gonna work out.
Alex says he'd be sad to say goodbye to Blue.
For sure. But again, I don't want him to be miserable, and I don't want to keep paying, you know, $1,200 a year, whatever.
If you can love an indoor-outdoor cat who yearns to snuggle with dogs, Blue may be the pet for you.
We'd never seen anything like that, a cat that just likes to take naps on top of people's dogs.
Blue gets along with cats just fine, but deep down, Alex suspects he wants to be a dog.
I do think that he does. Yeah, it's hard to ask him, but...
In the Zevely Zone,
we really just want to do what's best for him.
Jeff Zevely.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope little Blue finds his forever home soon. All right, that is it for this episode of Featured. Until next time, make it a great one.